Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group. We are back after the July 4th weekend, and hopefully you all had a good time. We are being recorded, and this recording will be found on YouTube under our page, which is Today's Restaurant. Please use it in your marketing and tell all your friends about it, and let them subscribe to the channel so they can get notices when new videos are put up. We're going to try to do a lot more in video over the next couple of months. I want to introduce a new face on the board today and let him introduce himself. Just give us a quick introduction, because we'll do an introduction of the group as well, so that you'll see who's here. And I will send everybody after the meeting a spreadsheet with everybody's contact information who was here. So if you miss anybody, you'll have it. So tell us about yourself, Nico.
Sure. My name is Nico Romano. I'm with Spiritus Law. We handle just exclusively alcohol license, alcohol beverage. We do a lot of work with we exclusively work with the hotels, restaurants, grocery stores. We have a national presence. We do work nationwide. And we handle all like the ancillary legal aspects with running of a hospitality group, which is real estate, corporate, and that sort of stuff. So, but the driving force of the firm is alcohol beverage.
Yeah, that's great. That's something that we need in the group. By the way, my son does know your associates.
Yes. Yeah, it turns out that I guess he used to work with Jeff Pomerantz, I believe, or anyway, so someone I guess I was sort of I asked around, and but he's a buddy of mine, and we see each other like at least twice a week at the park. So it's a small world.
Yeah. Okay. We'll circle back to you later once you see what we do.
All right.
Okay. This week we have Darin Gull, who is fresh off of his European vacation that I want to hear about. And he's going to be our presenter today. So Darin, it's all yours. I think I've given you the screen. Yep.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Darin Gull, Tracy.net. Yes, I did just get back from Europe and unfortunately contracted COVID in some process along the way. But I finished my quarantine and all was good. So, it was a mild case and it does happen. I just pretty much say that if you're traveling at all, you've noticed that nobody in the airports is wearing masks. Nobody on airplanes is wearing masks anymore. I mean, I think we were among maybe 10 people on our entire flight that had a mask on. So it's tough. And then you get on a boat or a cruise ship, which we were on a riverboat, and you can't keep a mask on full time. So inevitably I came down with COVID. Thank God my wife did not. So quarantined at home for a while, and everything is back to normal. Today I'm going to show you basically we've started doing some what we call doodly videos, and this is just a little video on Tracy.net, and we're trying to put out one a week on our YouTube channel, which is TracyNet. So it's TRACI.net. It's something if you want to check out more of our videos, it's a great way to do it, but it's a good quick way to do a quick presentation on what your company does. So let me just see if I can somehow pull up just the YouTube window here. It looks like we're going to be stuck with going to Chrome, and I'll just go full screen on it. So hold on one second. Has anybody done that on sharing a YouTube video? How to just pull up the YouTube video? Just see if that's not really showing me how to do it. So
I know I caught you.
Let's go ahead and just see if this does it. Are you guys able to see just the screen?
We see the screen, but I don't know what we're looking at.
Yep, it'll play here soon.
Okay.
So.
Oh, there you go. He got this from Steve.
I will. I need to. If I took the time off, I would agree. Thank you.
Okay. Just gonna stop the screen share right now on that then. So is everybody able to see that?
Perfect penmanship. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I think so. Everybody was able to see that okay? Did the sound come through as well or no?
Yep.
Okay, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So basically what we do at Tracy.net is we evaluate people's situations when it comes to their phone service. A lot of times we help people out that are struggling with an old premise-based solution, i.e., you know, the closet where you have the big box in the back closet. You've got either PRIs or analog lines coming into that box. And those systems are just going away, bottom line. They're not being supported anymore. One of the biggest was Avaya, and they were acquired by Ring Central, which is a cloud-based company with the sole purpose of replacing those PBXs with cloud solutions. So it is a fact. I mean, a lot of people have bad experiences with VoIP because they go back to the days before the bandwidth was there to support it. So they'll think, well, there's call breakup, there's this, there's that. And it's not just plugging in a system and saying, here we go, it's ready to go. You've got to do your homework and take a look at the person's, you know, total network environment. I had a person from another leads group that actually was having issues and said, you know, hey, our cloud service is terrible. Well, we went in and identified the only issue he had is he had a very antiquated old switch that just couldn't pass the traffic fast enough, and a matter of just replacing the switch and his problems went away. So it's not always a full pull out and rebuild, but it's looking at where a customer is, where their needs are, and how to make them more productive at a price they're willing to pay, which is usually less than they're paying now. For restaurants, we came up with a system that basically eliminates busy signals. So the biggest problem with a restaurant is how many lines do you want coming into your restaurant? Because they're busy at certain peak times, but at other times you don't get as many calls. So if you're with, say, Comcast or AT&T bringing in your phone lines and you have 2 to 4 lines, when that 5th call comes in, that caller's getting a busy signal. So what our product does is we put 4 lines on the phones so you can have 4 lines actively talking, but then also queue an additional 10 calls in the cloud. So you can have 10 people listening to your hold message, hearing about your restaurant, what you do, etc. So directing them to your website, directing them to your online ordering. You know, it's not trying to replace the other passive communications, but phones still are essential, but they're not as essential as they used to be. So what's happening is people are looking to save money on their phone system so they can spend money elsewhere in their business. And that's what we try to help them do. Another big part we do is the bandwidth portion. There are so many bandwidth providers out there, it's hard to keep track of who has what and where. We have the ability to search, you know, basically by an address and find out, you know, who services the area, and sometimes get the carriers to compete against each other. So like AT&T has a really good product called ABF. It's it's a business fiber product that competes against Comcast. And that product basically is Comcast level pricing, but it's bi-directional bandwidth. So in other words, you get the same upload speed as you do download speed, which for things like streaming video, you know, uploading videos for phone service, for Zoom calls, you know, whatever you're doing, it gives you that synchronous bandwidth, and really is at a very attractive price, and also is all available on a month-to-month contract. So that's something people really like. You can test it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you know, you can pull it out and cancel quickly. So those are the types of things we look at. We also work with managed security providers. So if you have someone who's having some issues, as they say, it's not a matter of whether you'll be hacked or not, it's a matter of when. So what is your plan for mitigation on those attacks? So those are things we look at as well for our customers. So we do work with, like I said, all the carriers, as you saw in our video. So we want to find the right solution at the right price. We get paid by the carriers. We do not get paid by our customers. So the bottom line is we work for our customers, and that's a rare thing in this industry. And the other thing that differentiates us first and foremost is we do tier 1 support for our customers. So you don't have to sit on hold when you're calling the carrier. You don't get the finger pointing of no trouble I can't tell you how many times from a bandwidth provider, both Comcast and AT&T, you open the ticket and the first response is, well, no trouble found, everything's working great. Well, magically things start working again. So something was fixed on the back end, but they won't admit what it is. We have access to a higher level of tier support with those providers. So we're able to get in and actually get with technicians and get to the root of the problem and get it resolved more quickly. And we can also provide reports. We have a firewall product also that we can put on premise that tracks, what's happening. So we can literally send the example to the carrier saying, here, you're seeing 20% packet losses right here in this graph. And those are things that a customer on their own can't do. So those are the types of things we can help you with. If you know of anybody who's looking for service refreshes, as we like to say, or just a review to go through some ideas they may have and how we can support it. Had another person in a leads group that they are an insurance broker for health insurance, and they just had their annual conference out in San Antonio and found out they need to start recording all of their calls. Well, he doesn't have VoIP. He doesn't have that service going. So how is the best way for him to be able to do that? So we're working with them, and that's a single user. So it's not a big account, but those are the types of things we can help you with. And we were working with him. He loves Zoom right now for his meeting client. So being he's a single user, we're probably just going to put him on Zoom Voice. They have a pretty good product for small business, but not spectacular. But for what he's comfortable with, it's going to be a bundle that'll work better for him. So again, we look at what's right for the customer, not necessarily pushing products. In our industry, there's a lot of people we call stiff whores, and they're only out there selling for who's going to pay the highest commission up front. And they flip and churn and burn customers. And that's just not the way we do it. We're in it for the long haul. We're in it for the relational selling with our customers and with our partners. We also have a great referral program. So if people want to become referral agents of ours, you can either earn a nice one-time commission or a monthly residual commissions on any customers you refer to. So if anybody has any interest, let's set up a one-on-one and we'll talk further on it. And I'm going to give it back to you, Howard.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions for Darin? It just so happens, it's not planned, but I received an email from somebody from AT&T trying to discuss that new service you were talking about, the increased speed. So my question to you is, does that require a personal visit by a technician to install it, or is that all done online?
No, there would be someone that would have to come out to install it, and because they have to bring the fiber in. Now, ABF is a business grade. If you're doing it from a residence, they do have fiber to curbside residential service as well. We can't really get involved with that, but I can certainly get you in touch with the right people within AT&T. But yeah, I wish I could get it at my house. I'm unfortunately on Comcast at home. But AT&T's fiber product is really rock solid, and that's if it's available, it's definitely worth checking out. I would appreciate anybody going through us if you want to check it for a business account, because we do get a bit of a commission from AT&T, and then we're also able to help you if you are having issues. Which, if you don't go through us, obviously we don't have that access.
That was the second part of my question.
Yep.
To go through you rather than going to somebody who just sends you a letter.
Is it coming to a residence or actual business location?
Slash both.
Yeah, I mean, I can try and run it through.
No, I'm just curious.
Send me the address and I'll see if we can qualify it.
Okay. Anybody else? Thoughts or questions? I have everybody on mute, so if you want to take yourself off. Go ahead, Kevin.
Darin, I would have some interest in talking with you about a referral partnership.
Sure.
So I believe you have
I'll put my info in the chat, and you can actually also I'll put my info in the chat, and you can actually schedule a meeting right from my signature file.
Okay.
Perfect.
Darin's my tech go-to guy.
Gotta have at least one of those.
For sure. Well, that's a good thing with this group and some other groups that Darin and I both belong to. You get to know the people, and you learn a lot of things
Absolutely.
that you don't usually come in contact with. So it's great. All right, anybody else? All right, so because we have Nico here today, and for the benefit of those who will be watching us on YouTube, and by the way, we also put this on our private Facebook page. We're still doing that for a while. Let's do our intros for Nico so he can see what we do, and then I'll ask him to give us a little bit more detail. So let's start with Debbie Krug.
Well, hello. Thank you very much. I'm Debbie Krasuski, better known as Cruz with DK Consulting, and I match your restaurant's value as an owner to be reflected in your service. Not only that, I'm trying to revamp from where I actually started getting into the restaurant industry, of really looking at the whole business cycle from start to finish, from being a new restaurant, a middle term restaurant, and being at a place where you might be ready to close. And of course, that helps every single person here, because I love to talk about all your services and working on some life cycles for that to work on my promotion. So I work with employees, owners, managers, and staff to be able to make the right decisions on the spot, as well as to make smart decisions for shifts and seasons, and make sure that you're set up properly to give the customers the ultimate experience. So Debbie Krasuski from DK Consulting.
Thank you, and thanks for all your help.
Thank you.
Mark Wagner, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. After our 4th of July celebration of our freedom, what happens with energy? And there's a lot of confusion going on right now within the administration, as well as others, on how the heck do we go energy efficient? How do we reduce our carbon footprint? We typically work with existing restaurants, not new restaurants. So we want ones that already have air conditioners in place on their roof and able to come in, and basically as easy as swapping out a motor, just like a light bulb, you're able to then get yourself about 68% reduction in the electricity used for the HVAC device, the motor, which is averaging about 17% of the overall HVAC cost of running it. So it's a bright idea that's needed to happen and turn the tide on this energy waste. The other programs that we do are also related to waste is trash reduction. We patented a manually operated compactor that actually compresses trash, just like the old-fashioned orange juice press. They squeeze out juice, we squeeze out air. So restaurants are able to maintain a higher cleanliness level, lower their cost of waste hauling by 50%, and also reduce internal theft. The industry right now for the restaurants is the largest. It's actually 3 times, it's larger than credit card fraud, banking fraud, and IRS fraud all combined, is theft taken out of restaurants in the way of products, money, cash right out of the drawers, or selling something that they never ring in. So helping these restaurateurs find that kind of money is huge. And if the equivalency is $20 of sales, only produces $1 pure profit at 5%. And that's about the national average for restaurants, is about 5%. So either go sell $20 worth of something or lower a cost, and every dollar that you find in savings is multiplied times 20 if they had to go out and generate the same money in a different fashion by selling something versus reducing costs. So it's a tough business, and we need to be all there to help them. I appreciate all the referrals everybody's given, and look forward to saving even more energy for them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. The dynamic we have triplets today.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with a new name.
What's the name?
Terrific Three.
What?
The Terrific Three. Or the Terrible Three, however you look at us.
Yeah. All right, Chris, why don't you start us off with it?
Actually, I am going to let Kevin do the talking today.
Okay.
I'm not obviously in the best setting right now, sitting in my car.
Okay.
Hey, Nico.
Kevin, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Perfect.
Go for it.
Nico, my name's Kevin Anderson. I'm a partner with Strategic Supply Chain Partners. We have a partnership of 4. Each of us have had very deep and diverse experiences in our past with large restaurant groups. And so we formed a company to go in and help small to medium-sized restaurant groups with their purchasing and negotiations, in particular with distributors. So broadline distribution negotiations. We go in and we analyze what they're spending, how much they're spending, potentially what their save will be by going through a RFP. We process the RFP through to its completion. We then present back to our client group what the potential savings would be if they were to stay with their incumbent and or go to a different company. We're averaging between low end 6% improvement to 19.7% improvement, depending on how the distributor has set up a restaurant group. And then we take them through the process of getting a new RFP with the reduced expense. And we basically work off of a gain share. So whatever we save, we receive a portion of the savings as our fee. So there's zero cost on the front side, and we're self-funding through our gain share model. So there really is zero cost on the back side. We then look at every other purchasing needs. If there have any other secondary vendors, any problems that they may be having with liquor, beer, and wine, any problems that they may be having in payroll, in smallware, supplies, and we just work our way down the profit and loss statement. So about 70% of what we're doing currently are on the high end of the purchasing arena with distributors. But we then go in and find other ways to save our clients money. And sometimes that's finding packaging companies that may not be in the distribution network. So a company may have a need to, look for a new pizza box or a new packaging for a to-go item, whatever. So we have preferred partnerships with a number of different companies that we have vetted over the course of the many years. And so we have some go-to companies that we reach out to and try to source products domestically or internationally, if we can find those products that have, a good amount of supply and or a better price. So that's kind of what we do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Give the name of the company again.
Strategic Supply Chain Partners.
Okay, John, anything to add?
Kind of hard to top that. We should work on a testimonial from a lead we got through this leads group and send it out. So Chris, or I don't see your picture up there, but if you want me to work on that, I'll do that.
That's great.
Yep.
Thanks for letting us know.
Sure.
All right, let's go to Debbie Danto.
Good morning, Debbie Danto, Danto Builders. We are a general contractor and we love to help clients with their design and builds. We like starting with the process from the beginning so that a client is looking for a location or wants to build a location. And we will walk them through that process with respect to the space and what they can do and what they can't do. And we bring in the designers right away, like John Marinick for the kitchen design. And then depending on the area, a lot of times we collaborate with John just to say who's the best architect for this area to handle this restaurant. And then we will take them through the process of the budget and small business loans if needed. And then of course, permitting and through construction. We've been in the area for over 40 years, or Craig has actually. I've been with him 20 years though. So I also have been in the area for a long time. We're really involved with the community. I sit on the board of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Florida Design and Construction Professionals and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. And I want to remind everybody to save the date because we have our reverse trade show coming up. and it's on Monday, August 29th at the Riverside Hotel. You should start seeing, if you have not already, if you're not on their mailing list, please let me know. But they're sending out save the date information as well as sponsorship opportunities. I am on the committee to plan that, as I was last year. And it looks like we're leaning towards having a panel of leading hospitality people. So I suggested a number of iconic hotel GMs, as well as restaurant owners that are known in the area that have multiple restaurants, and that will share with you information. We'll come up with some great questions. In fact, I suggested to the committee that we ask the hospitality and vendors for questions that they believe to be very important and current to today's marketplace, such as labor, technology, and so on. So I hope you will save the date and come, because it's such a great opportunity. You get to meet, our goal is to have at least 30 hospitality participants, and you will have a face-to-face with them. I think it's for something like 3 minutes. So you have time to say who you are, what you do, and leave your information and get their information. And we try to cover all bases. So for example, Riverside Hotel, they have a restaurant person, they have linens and food and beverage and the different type of divisions we try to get the hotels and restaurants to represent. So thank you for your time today.
That is not the same as the FRLA Summit, right?
And thanks for bringing that up again. Yes, no, it's not the same. And that is a great event to attend. It should be bigger and better this year than it was last year. And last year was great.
Yeah, we're helping them do their marketing for that event.
At the Hard Rock. So great
Yeah.
location too.
Yeah,
And there'll be great speakers. Last year, there were great hospitality speakers, but they had DeSantis there as well, who gave a great update. And then vendors were there, and you have a lot of opportunity there. And there were a lot of restaurant people there.
Yeah, we're doing a video email for them Sunday night, Sunday evening.
Great.
So look
Great.
for that. Okay, thank you. James, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. James Walker with Aramark Refreshments. We provide coffee service, everything ranging from traditional brewers to nitro and cold brew behind me, filtered water and ice options. Our main focus is the office coffee sector, but we also can provide, car dealerships, restaurants. We have everything in the spectrum that they would need. We also provide for large office type settings, micro markets with fresh wrapped salad sandwiches, self-checkout kiosk, anything you can dream of in regards to a break room / kitchen setting in a business. That's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Howard. Cheers, James. Coffee. So similar to some other people here, like Kevin, Mark, I'm also in the cost savings space. And this is all done on a contingency basis, no risk, no cost to the prospect, to the client. I look at all expense categories, shipping, accounts payables, utilities, wireless, merchant credit card processing, and focusing on restaurants, hospitality, manufacturing, medical practices. So similar, in cost savings. And it's very true that it's a lot easier to save on your expenses than to increase sales. It's definitely not one-to-one, as Mark was saying. That's hard to believe that it's only restaurants have 5% profit margin. So the idea is that to cost save, you could do that immediately with minimal effort. To increase your sales, it takes resources, it takes money, it takes staffing and marketing to do that. So that is what I do. I help not just restaurants, but hospitality, other industries lower their costs, reduce their expenses. And yeah, that's about it. Happy, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks.
And the name of your company again?
Ecentropy Business Solutions. I'm here based in Jupiter, Florida.
Okay, thank you. John Marinak, good morning.
Good morning. I better do this right or I'll get in trouble.
You bet.
So,
You get the
anyway,
merits.
John Marinak Food Service Consultants. We do a lot of design and everything like that. And like Debbie mentioned, so we do a lot with her right now. And we do the layouts, we do the consulting, all those kind of things, and try to make people happy. And right now we're fixing a lot of problems that are out there in the industry from other consultants that are coming our way. So there's a lot of consultants that are just popping up in South Florida. I got a call from a couple different people and they said, John, do you know this guy? This guy? I don't know a damn one of them. And so a lot of them are fly-by-nights. There are there's two guys I do know that came in and they were out in Vegas before and they didn't do well in Vegas. Now all of a sudden they're in Florida. They pop up in different places. So we've been around for a long time, and a nice way of saying that we're a small firm is we're a boutique firm. That's how they try to word it today, but we're not. We're just a small firm, and we can do jobs pretty quick, turn them around, and we know the codes and all that. We're doing work with the nursing homes right now, seem to be booming, and also a lot of coffee shops are popping up, James. So you'll start to see a lot of those. I've probably got 6 of those that are they're in and out. I can get those in and out in a day. That's how fast they turn them around. But then we're working on a couple other projects and everything like that. Anyway, we do design. So give us a call. Thanks.
And your company name?
Marinak Food Service Consultants.
Great. Thank you. Terry, good morning.
That was good, John. And we've known John for 20 plus years. Well, and Howard has known him quite a bit longer. And he is a professional. If you need somebody, and he is absolutely correct, as we took a 2,000-mile journey this 4th of July weekend, I saw many coffee houses where there's no indoor seating, but they have like double drive-through lanes, like In-N-Out, and well, that's a West Coast chain. Oh, like Chick-fil-A, where you just drive through and you order, and they're smaller type buildings, a lot of little square A-frames. So John, I can see what you're talking about in the design aspect, and many new leads that, we picked up along the way, driving through centers, and things like that.
Mention that Steak and Shake that we went.
Oh, yes. Anyway, I can't see the whole board because I'm on my phone today, swamped. But if anyone is new, my name is Terry, and I'm with Today's Restaurant News, and I do a monthly leads report where we gather, our team gathers leads throughout the month, and we let you know once a month where they're at on a spreadsheet, and it's an Excel spreadsheet. And I had somebody that just got them in the last group, and it was his first month, and he emailed me and he said, Terry, holy cow, what am I supposed to do with all these? I go, well, you can hire a staff to call, you can use the email database and build, and you can send out your own email blast, or we can do it for you. So just let me know what you want to do. Anyway, if anybody needs a sample, I'm happy to provide them. There are 60, I'm going to say conservatively, 50 to 60 brand new leads every month, along with updates on the month before. And we're starting to eliminate the ones before that, which I can get back if anybody needs those sheets. Yes, the coffee houses are huge. There are several, and what I want to do here real quick, do I have a minute, Howard?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm just like, today I'm just totally not even with it. There is the coffee shops that are coming in are like, there is one that is under construction, and Debbie may know and John may know, and others as well. This is an artisanal donut shop and coffee bar. This one's opening up in Coconut Grove late 2022, called the Salty Donut. That is not just a coffee bar like some of the other ones. That, if anybody wants that lead. Now, here is the one I wanted to let you guys know about. This is called 7 Brew Coffee. If anybody knows about them, please let me know, because there's 150 units coming to Florida. They're in permitting stages now in a couple of their locations. One is in Melbourne, one is in Vieira, but they are also coming all the way down to Miami. So I do have the director of development. And again, if anybody wants that lead, please let me know and I will send it to you in an email. But there will be 150. This is the first in Florida. It's called 7 Brew Coffee, the number 7. And they're a double drive-through, no inside seating. And they are only in their permitting stages. So if anybody needs that lead, let me know. Send me an email and I'll send you whatever you want. Have a good weekend.
And Iliano's Coffee is also on a major expansion push.
Yeah, they are. This is brand new though, coming in. Iliano's is absolutely on a huge national push. This one is not established here in Florida at all, and they are it's a brand new chain. They thought they'd try their hand at coffee. They do have a nice little background, and there's others, but that one I wanted to give everyone because everyone in here has a chance to get a part of that action, so being brand new. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jeff Krantz, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Jeff Krantz, Cocard Payment Systems. We're a national firm. We're based out of Nashville, Tennessee. And in the last credit card processing, electronic transactions, we've spent the last 10 days being very busy retroacting wireless units into POS systems from Orlando all the way down. We're very busy. The only thing that's held us back has been the chips. We couldn't get the chips to put into the POS systems to work with them properly. And by doing what we've done, we've eliminated about 25% of the cost of taking credit cards, because now they don't have to worry about key it in transactions. Now they can go right to the consumer at the table. We've been doing this with new units, but now we're retrofitting all of our old businesses so that they can also do this. We find that the savings are immense, and the cost of the equipment we retrofit them cost efficiently by we don't charge the merchant any money when we update them, and we charge very little money for POS systems, and any wireless units that are needed, we give away. Our business is long-term. We're not short-term. We've been around since, my office has been around since 1988. And I've been stuck in my office for the last 7 days. So I've got COVID, but as of this morning, I'm negative.
Oh my gosh. Enjoy your weekend, Jeff.
Oh God.
Well, you and Darin can talk on the phone.
I got the negative this morning, and God, thank you.
Good. I'm so glad. I hope it was
Yeah,
mild.
well, we're, what do you call, Cocard has made deals with 4 or 5 of the major manufacturers around the country to make sure that we get very cost efficient equipment. And we buy equipment in an abundance at the national level, but we've had to wait long-term because of all the chips that they haven't been able to get, so we haven't been able to get the units that we wanted to put into the stores. That's basically it. We're trying to lower the cost of doing credit card processing or electronic transactions every single day. It increases our business because more stores are picking us up, and the equipment is meaningless to us. No matter what the equipment costs, we're helping out the merchants and they appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Nico, you've seen what we do. Would you like to add anything to your intro?
Sure. Again, thank you for having me. And what we do is, we're based out of Coral Gables, but we work nationwide. Anything from from the small restaurants starting up to national chain. You want let's say you want to start a restaurant, we can help you with the due diligence. Is it approved use? We do federal, state, local licensing. We also do local business permitting. And along with that is you need help with the lease. We can help negotiate the lease. You want to buy the property, we can help you with the contract to purchase the property, the closing. So we sort of anything that you would need as from a restaurant perspective. But then also a bar, you want distributor, all distribution agreements. We cover all the 3 tiers of the alcohol system in Florida as well as nationwide. So we can, if you have anything, if you're involved with alcohol in any way, we are able to help. Our partners, my partners have been doing this for 20 plus years. We've had one of the partners was an agent with the alcohol, tobacco, firearms. And that's how we got into alcohol beverage. So we have a lot of industry insiders working with us. We also do government affairs work. So we eat, sleep, and breathe regulatory work. So from the small startup to the large national, we can help out in any respects.
And the name of your company?
Spiritus Law.
Okay.
Like Spirit US Law.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News. We are a newspaper for the food service industry that we present digitally online every month. And we've been doing it since 1996. What I want to mention today, as far as what we're doing, we just added a new tab onto our website. It's called ERTC. The industry itself has taken a hit, and a lot of businesses, not only in the restaurant industry, but in the whole economy, are not aware of this program that the government is offering. It's called the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And if you had employees and you paid them during 2020 and 21, you may be entitled to $26,000 credit back from the IRS. And there's a lot of money because people have, 25, 30 employees. That you're talking a lot of money. And I know restaurants are looking for money at this point. So it's something that we want to offer to the industry. If you are interested out there, please go to our website, www.trnusa.com, and just fill out the form, and we'll have somebody contact you and to help you fill out the application. And there's no charge to do that. It's like everybody else mentioned, it's no upfront fees. We're just trying to help the industry. Okay, so I got some good news actually. As you know, Terry and I just got back from a road trip to Nashville and back. And one of the things that we noticed, well, there were two things that we noticed. One, when Terry was talking before about coffee shops, etc., we stopped into a restaurant, an existing restaurant, a national chain, Steak and Shake, and they have eliminated their wait staff. All they have
Robots.
is the cooking, and they have a kiosk when you walk in, a touch screen. They have 4 or 5 different stations. You order your food and you pick it up at the counter. I guess they call that quick serve now.
No, they call that waiter free.
Yeah. But it was very different for Steak and Shake. That happened. John, you could tell that is a trend in the industry now. They're trying to save money, and labor's hard to get. So this is the way they've gone to it. Is that right, John?
Yep, that's correct. They're finding 1,000 different ways to save money, and every one of them is cutting out the waiters and waitresses, as well as what they did is they took the model from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A actually spent over $1.5 million researching their drive-throughs, and that's how they got their drive-throughs to be so perfect. Perfect. If you go to any Chick-fil-A, they're just booming. And that's the same thing that everybody's doing now. They're all realizing that they can make more money through drive-throughs than they can, to sit in. And that was something I'm probably going to reach out to James about, something that I'm working on with a group right now. That's very interesting. So
there's also a lot of companies that are exploring using robotics in the kitchen to offset their labor expense as well. So that'll be something we'll probably all see here in the near future.
It's funny with robotics. I've been going to a lot of trade shows over the last 30 years, all, restaurant industry trade shows. And I can't remember the name of the company. I could see the logo, I can't remember the name, but they had a hamburger flipper. They called it flipper. And it was, John probably knows it. Many years ago they had it. What was the name of that company?
I don't know. I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. But they also researched it with White Castle.
Right.
White Castle was looking at using a flat piece that just actually had all the burgers, and you just lay them on this piece. They laid the whole piece down onto the griddle. The heat would transfer through the metal, and then they would take it and it would flip right over. And then that way they could bang out like 100 burgers in one shot,
Oh my God.
Yeah. But it's not so great yet. There's a lot of problems with robotics right now, because they're running into health issues, because the NSF has got certain requirements and the NSF can't keep up with it. And so what they're doing is they're raising their hands and saying, well, if it doesn't meet NSF, then we can't approve it. Well, you're not going to have robotics meeting all the NSF requirements, because it doesn't touch the food. So it doesn't really apply.
Correct.
So now they're going
and
to
how's that going to work, John? Because that's more and more. They have a huge electric robotic trash picker going down the beaches and taking the trash off the beaches instead of people now. It's happening this weekend. But how is that going to work? Because you're right, you don't need the NSF. So we are eliminating actually job after job after job, but with more maybe precision, maybe more, timely. You never have to worry about them not showing up. You never have to worry about restroom breaks or anything like that. They just work. But then, there's so many people out of work. They're not coming back. Where are they going?
Well,
They're laying in LA on the grounds, let me tell you.
I've reached out to about 7 or 8 different robotics firms, and I thought, hey, it would be a great idea to be a rep for them, right? Get in to be a rep now, as opposed to waiting, and be like the #1 guy to go to. So I started researching them, and I reached out to them, There's a group out of Italy and everything for the bars and all that. But the thing is, they're not ready. They're far from ready to do business in the real setting. They put the one in Vegas. The one in Vegas is working. They want $250,000 for a bar, and yeah, it will pay itself back and everything. It's just that it's a novelty right now, as opposed to a true working force. They have a French fryer that's working. The best one, if you really want to see robotics at work, just go right over to Krispy Kreme and get a damn donut. It's been around for years. That's it.
I'm in.
Well, the other good news that we came across is on the road, actually. We've been taking this trip, you know, for a long time, at least 20 years. And this is on this trip, we saw the highest volume of 18-wheel trucks on the road in both directions. It is incredible that every other vehicle was an 18-wheeler. So this supply chain problem that we're having is either reducing the truckers to local deliveries, or there's a lot of merchandise on these trucks going somewhere. So hopefully things will loosen up a little bit in the supply chain issues. Anybody have any information on that or any thoughts?
Well,
Yeah,
we're
Howard.
downswing. Go ahead. I don't know who else that was talking.
No, that was me, John. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We are on the downswing. I can tell you right now, believe it or not, lumber is going way down in price and steel is going down in price. And they're starting to slowly get back to where they normally are, getting these materials in for building houses, obviously, and building billboards in the steel case. So I don't know exactly. I mean, obviously Kevin would know more in the food industry, but as a whole, we're getting better. And watch this economy. Watch what we're at in about 6 to 12 months. Everybody thinks we're going down into recession. Things will slow down in the real estate a little bit, but other than that, I think once we get the products we need, we're going to be booming.
Well, the areas that you're talking about, John, the stainless steel industry has been hurting mainly because of when Trump put tariffs on everything. The Biden administration didn't take the tariffs off, and now they took the tariffs off, and now people can buy, you know, even American steel a little bit cheaper, and they've been keeping it hush hush. So that's why the steel's loosening up. As far as it goes for truckers, I travel quite a bit between Charlotte, Florida, and New York, and I come across the same thing, tons of truckers. And if you stop in and you actually, I go to all the love stations because it's a good place if you have to sleep or anything like that. And if your car breaks down, there's somebody to help you. So it's a good location. So when I go to them, I get a chance, and I actually speak to some of the truckers and actually have lunch with them and stuff, because I find them pretty interesting people. And a lot of them don't speak English anymore because they're actually part of the program that came across the border, and they're actually giving them licenses pretty quick. They're doing that quick. And then when you speak with them, and then if you go at night, you meet their girlfriends. The place is like flooded with what they call lot lizards, and it's all the people coming across the border. All the women are getting into trafficking, but then the guys are all becoming truck drivers. So if you talk to it, you'll find a lot of Turkish, a lot of Spanish, Latinos, and that's the big ones that I find that are coming in.
I was going to mention that because I saw a guy, I think I'm pronouncing this properly, a Sikh, you know, the one with the turban from India.
Yeah.
I saw him. I saw a lot of guys with dreadlocks, you know, probably from Jamaica or whatever. Yeah, you're right. The truckers are not the typical truckers that we know from years ago.
Well, to be a trucker,
They're dying off.
Those
truckers are all dying off. Because young kids in the United States are not getting into that type of business anymore.
That's right. And that's a good point, Jeff.
That's,
It used to be
you
to
know,
be
you're
a
getting
trucker.
foreigners that are coming in and doing this all the time. I see that when I go out to our Texas group, and when I go into El Paso, I have a lot of friends out there. When I see them coming over the border, there's tons of them. And there's nothing that, you know, there's nothing stopping them. And the young people in the United States, that's not where they're going. The foreigners are coming in because it's a higher wage than they're getting someplace else.
Right.
And trucking firms are basing themselves now, not in the United States, but on the border areas, because that's where they can get all of their supplies and everything at a cheap cost, and they can upgrade constantly. But the drivers, they're so happy to get the type of pay that they get in the United States.
Jeff, the one thing that I've noticed that's happening a lot is they actually lowered the standards, okay?
That's
It
what I was
used to
gonna
be
mention.
that you had to have a 12th grade education to be a truck driver. Now they lowered it to 8th grade because that's what is required in most of the international countries, that like women or guys, they have to complete the 8th grade, then they can drop out of school. And so they lowered it. So the next time you're driving and you're driving beside a truck, think about that and hit the gas and get the hell out of the way, because they're not going to do it.
That's, yeah. There's a lot of more maneuvers by truck drivers that you have never seen before. They cut in and out. They're in the left lane. Anyway, let me thank everybody for coming today. I'll keep the window open if you want to stick around and talk about it. I appreciate everybody coming. Nico, thank you for coming. I hope you'll become part of the group. And for those of you watching and would like to see this again or show it to a friend, or please go to our YouTube page at Today's Restaurant and like us and subscribe to it so that you can get it every single week. Again, have a nice weekend, and we'll see you next week.